China's foreign minister acclaims Russian ties while cautioning against future conflict with the United States. Qin Gang criticized Washington's Taiwan strategy and the balloon event in a combative debut press conference, despite complimenting Beijing's ties to Russia. At his inaugural news conference as China's new foreign minister, Qin Gang delivered sharp and extensive criticism of American policy, warning that confrontation and conflict with the United States are imminent if Washington does not alter its direction. Stay tuned to find out more. In a scathing news conference where he justified his nation's growing ties with Russia, China's new foreign minister warned that the United States and Beijing are headed for an unavoidable confrontation if Washington will not modify the strategy. Qin Gang presented China and its connection with Russia as a light of stability and strength, as well as the United States and its supporters as a source of stress and struggle in his first media interview as foreign minister, which was held on Tuesday outside of the both sessions' parliamentary meeting. Although the U.S. side's so-called rivalry is all-out confinement and oppression, a negligible game where you kill and I survive, according to Qin. The U.S. declared it intended to outpace China but did not seek war. No quantity of fences can stop delegitimizing. There will undoubtedly be friction and conflict if the United States fails to apply the brakes and keeps moving in the opposite direction. Given the conflict in Ukraine, the West has been keenly observing the tight ties between Russia and China, which Qin highlighted. The relationship between Moscow and Beijing established an instance for international relations, he claimed. The globe will have a motivating factor with Russia and China working jointly, he remarked. It is more important than ever for both nations to develop their relations gradually as the globe gets more uncertain. He dodged queries as to whether Xi would travel to Russia this year, as Moscow asserts, stating that the two nations' leaders were in close touch, with head of state connections serving as the relationship's fulcrum. The collaborative partnership will undoubtedly get stronger over time. The Chinese leader, Xi Jinping, spoke to political delegations on Monday and criticized what he called the U.S.-led destroying of China at the same time as Qin's comments. Western nations, particularly the United States, have undertaken an all-encompassing policy of containment, invasion, and repression of China, which has posed unprecedentedly difficulties to the growth of our country, he stated. The relationship between China and the United States has worsened drastically over the past several years. Its attempts to improve them were thwarted early this year after the Americans shot down what it claimed was a Chinese surveillance balloon hovering in U.S. territory. China asserts that it was an incident brought on by unforeseen circumstances and that the U.S. responded excessively. Qin specifically cited the balloon issue, conflicts around Taiwan, and the Ukrainian crisis for deteriorating relations with the USA. According to him, some invisible hand pushing for the prolongation and intensification of the war in Ukraine appears to have been behind it. This invisible hand allegedly utilizes the Ukraine issue to further specific geopolitical ambitions. China has portrayed itself as a mediator in the issue, but in reality it has backed Russia. Experts predicted that its 12-point ceasefire agreement, which was recently published, basically reiterated Beijing's talking points from the previous year. According to Qin, the connection between Moscow and Beijing was not intended to harm any third parties, posed no threat to any nation, and would not be exposed to intervention or conflict caused by any party. When the U.S. maintained Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty, but not China's right to Taiwan, Qin argued, it was hypocritical of the U.S. to accuse China of contemplating equipping Russia while arming Taiwan. According to him, the U.S., which Beijing considers a territory and has vowed to annex via force if necessary, is partly responsible for the concerns over Taiwan, and the first line that cannot be violated in China U.S. relations is the Taiwan dispute, which forms the political cornerstone of those interactions. After reading aloud the section that referred to Taiwan as a scared region of China, Qin explained that he had carried a print of the People's Republic of China law with him. because he had anticipated a question about Taiwan. With new cabinet nominations to be made this week, the current 5 political terms that started in October last year with Xi's confirmation as Chinese Communist Party head also included Qi's press conference, outlining China's aspirations in terms of its foreign policy. Qin stressed China's role as an agent of prosperity and security for the world, promoting modernization everywhere, especially in developing countries. The idea that modernity equals westernization, he claimed, has been broken by China's accomplishments. You are enjoying this video. You want to take advantage of other amazing videos, so hit the subscription button. It's that easy. Thanks for doing that. Let's move on. Qin's comments coincide with rumors that United States Speaker Kevin McCarthy and the President of Taiwan may meet in April. According to a Monday Financial Times report, the Taiwan president would visit McCarthy in California instead of Taiwan, as the United States Speaker had first suggested. Taiwan's foreign ministry said it had no data to provide on any planned U.S. excursion. And a representative for the U.S. State Department stated that it was not informed of any scheduled travel, even by Taiwanese president. Nevertheless, no matter where it occurs, a face-to-face meeting involving Tsai and a prominent U.S. official will likely anger Beijing, escalating strained relations between the United States and China and those from across Taiwan Strait. McCarthy's Democratic colleague Nancy Pelosi traveled to Taiwan in August, the first visit made by the United States Speaker in 25 years, despite Beijing's warnings of punishment. In retaliation, Beijing conducted unprecedented military drills near Taiwan and cut off vital communication routes with the United States. Tsai's scheduled meeting with McCarthy in California is not strictly an alternative or degradation, according to Wen Tai-sung, a political scientist from the Australian National University's Taiwan Studies Center. Instead, he suggested that McCarthy might always tour Taiwan at a later time, calling it an add-on. Taiwan wants to normalize elevated meetings involving American officials, but also wants its Western allies to recognize it as a serious player in the processes. Few people could believe that there was a better time than this one to pursue a further American speaking trip to Taiwan, Sung remarked. He said, in the near term, a really visible delivery to show continuous American support for Taiwan, independent of transition of party leadership in the legislature, could be a meeting in the U.S. The former Chinese diplomatic representative in the United States, Qin, warned that if the United States failed to apply the brakes and kept moving in the wrong direction, there would undoubtedly be tension and conflict. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can always watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.